Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. My name's Jonathan. As always, I got the Masters crew with me. Doc, Alec, what's up, guys?
How we doing?
What's up, Kamish?
Real good. We're going to be doing some more trades. I've been scouring trades all week. I think I got the best ones written down for you guys. These guys are going to go over them, give you your opinion. I'm going to jump right into this though. First trade's going to be popping up on the screen. We got Alvin Kamara, Michelle Sony, and Terry McLaurin for AJ Brown, Brandon Cooks, and the 19.1 pick. As you can see, this is one of the Super Dynasty early emails, so a little different. These didn't have rookies in them, so these actually have two drafts. After the NFL draft, these guys will draft again. So 19.1 is actually going to be the 1.1. These are actually really cool drafts too. If you guys looking to get into a draft,
I've done one before. A lot of fun.
yeah. And I always say like you kind of get two drafts for the price of one, which is pretty cool. But I'll shoot this trade over to your guys' thoughts. And actually, this is a double part trade.
Yeah.
Because you guys at home can see both of them. So you could talk about either one of these. Also have the Miles Sanders, Michael Thomas for a 1, and a 1 for Saquon Barkley and Edmonds.
Sure. So starting with a top trade. So if you're in win now mode and you're trying to win next year, I do think, Kamara is kind of the best player in the deal. However, this is a dynasty show, and I think, 2 years down the road, that side with A.J. Brown and the 1.1 is going to have a lot more value than Kamara and Terry McLaurin will. But it's close, and like I said, I do think, going into next year, getting Alvin Kamara could be a move that puts you over to the top. But in Dynasty, I think there's more value on the other side.
Yeah, go ahead, JK.
You were supposed to go anyway.
Oh, that's all right. I was just going to say I agree with Al on this one. Win now mode, yeah, absolutely. Kamara and McLaurin is a heck of a haul and can really help you make a push for a championship. But, yeah, Dynasty, long-term thinking, of A.J. Brown and Jamar Chase. And then even Brandon Cooks has some sneaky good value, too, him being the only receiver left in Houston really worth anything. So, yeah, I think Al hit it right on the head there.
Yeah, I think you guys are actually both right. The only concern I have is you have to get the 1.1 right.
Right.
Yeah, that's very true.
So what's funny, one of my other first thoughts was I would actually try and immediately flip the 1.1, maybe get yourself a young running back, and just my thoughts on that.
I agree. And the second trade?
So this one's tough because I love Saquon. But
man.
But honestly, this might be, I've got Saquon in a couple leagues. This might be enough to make me give him up. I also like Chase Edmonds, who's kind of like the throw-in player. But after Kenny and Drake left, I don't know, I like Edmonds a lot too. But Miles Sanders is, a great young fantasy running back as well. Michael Thomas still should have a few years as, a legit wide receiver 1. And then, a first-round pick next year is huge too. So I do think there's more value on the other side, in the Miles Sanders, Michael Thomas side. But I love Saquon Barkley, so.
Yeah, unless Saquon goes rookie year for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I think he can.
Yeah,
he could,
but even if he does that, I still think you're getting I don't think you'd regret it. I think that's a really nice haul for him.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point there with Chase Edmonds as the throw-in player.
Yeah.
And I think this gets overlooked so many times in so many trades. That throw-in player matters.
Yeah.
When you're making a trade like this, you're not going to get another stud there, but, go look over the guy's roster, find someone that he's probably willing to let go of that still has a little bit of value.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I think if it weren't for Chase Edmonds, I think the guy getting Sanders, Thomas, and a first would be winning this trade relatively easily. But adding in Edmonds, who I think very well could be the starter in Arizona and put up big numbers next season, I think that makes it pretty even. I'm still going to lean on the Sanders Thomas side. I just think there's a lot more potential there. And then of course, first round pick. Who knows where that one ends up? But always good value in a first round pick too.
Yeah, that's a nice trade there. You guys in that Silver Dynasty, good job. Actually, moving on here to one of our Gold Dynasty leagues. I got another trade here. Marquise Brown, the 1.8 for this year. He gave up his whole draft next year, 1, 2, and a 3 for Stephon Diggs. He gave up too much.
So honestly, gut reaction, I'm going to say no. I mean, I know 2 firsts is a lot, but he's getting 2.5. So like the second rounder next year, third rounder next year. I think that's kind of a wash with the 2.5 coming in.
Yeah.
So really so it's, Hollywood, the 1.8 and a first next year. It's steep, but I don't know. I mean, Diggs can legitimately go win you a league this year. I mean, I think he was wide receiver 3 last year, if I remember right. I think he could easily finish as a top 3 receiver again. So that can win. And it's a gold league. So the money's a little higher.
Oh, boy.
Diggs can bring you some money. So
Yeah.
I'm going to get right with Diggs on this one.
I like that a lot. And, I mean, when I just break it down, it's basically Hollywood Brown and 2 firsts for Stephon Diggs. I mean, that's tough. I mean, it kind of depends on your situation, and you're kind of banking on Hollywood continuing to do what he did last year, you know? But, yeah, I mean, like we've said in past shows, Hollywood's finished strong. Last season, he finished the season really well. He looked good. You know, I think there might be a chance where that is the better side of it, him and those 2 first-round picks. But again, if you're just like one elite player away from a championship, I think this is a no-brainer trade to make for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I agree, and I think 1 first-round pick isn't enough for Diggs. Probably going to take 2. And I also want to say, I mean, Hollywood Brown was garbage most of the season last year.
Yeah.
I think we're all kind of living in the moment where he came alive those last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And a guy like Hollywood, too, I mean, I think we all think he's going to take a step up this year. But even then, I just think he's going to be a hard guy to start consistently. You know, he's going to have those boom weeks, and he's going to have those weeks where he doesn't do much. I think in Masters formats where we're only starting, you know, potentially, you know, you could only be starting 1 receiver if you got 3 good running backs. So with that setup, he's just not a guy I think you'd feel comfortable starting very often.
I agree.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, to date, Baltimore has still done nothing.
Right. That's the only thing that makes me feel somewhat confident in it is because they haven't added anything. They're still seeming to stick with him going forward.
Maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, going to move on to this next trade. Real simple trade. I just wanted to run it by you guys. Is that too much? Is that enough for Devontae Adams?
So it's funny. It's kind of real similar to the last one, talking about 2 firsts for Stephon Diggs, 2 firsts for Adams. Obviously, Hollywood's not in this deal. But I kind of lean the side of the picks in this one only because it's the 1.2 rather than the 1.8. So you're getting a super early first this year, which can be, you know, maybe your Jamar Chase, and then a first round next year as well. I think that's got more value in Dynasty, but again, if you're really trying to win now, Devontae Adams can obviously give you another wide receiver, you know, a few more wide receiver 1 seasons. So
Yeah. So I kind of disagree with you on this one. As much as I like that 1.2 pick, I just think it's not enough for Devontae Adams. The fact that Bryce loves the throw-in, I mean, he's got no shot playing anytime soon in Washington.
He was getting all the hype like last season.
Yeah, I loved him coming out of college. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy, and they've even said too that, like, health-wise, he just doesn't look the same as he had before. So I'm concerned with that. That's really just the definition of a toss in there. So you basically are swapping Devontae Adams for one of those top 2 receivers, whichever one doesn't get drafted first, and then, you know, hoping that you get a high pick the following year. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I feel like you could probably get a little bit more for Devontae Adams. So yeah, I'm gonna side with the guy getting Devontae here.
So a little sneak peek for you guys here. We actually are gonna unveil a trade calculator coming pretty soon. It's still in the works, but I actually think the values on this will be really close.
Ooh.
But I think it's gonna go with the picks. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
But my gut feeling is the picks would win, and I think this is kind of where there's always gonna be a discrepancy between dynasty value versus get yourself a championship.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Devontae Adams is going to get you a championship. That 1.2 in 2021 isn't this year, but in 5 years, your team might look better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I just want to add to that real quick, too. Like, guys, we're just having fun here. We obviously have no clue. I know last year we were doing it on the podcast, and I had some guys on Twitter like, why does there always have to be a winner and a loser? And they're like,
fair trade.
Yeah.
we're just having fun.
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Like,
we're
we
just
have fun.
analyzing some trades here,
That's
you know?
right. All right, going to move on to the next one here. Really interesting trade, I thought. We got T. Higgins and a first-round pick for your guy, Cam Akers.
I like this trade, kind of.
And while I actually have a few more Cam Akers trades coming up in some of the episodes, I think you guys are going to be shocked at some of them.
Yeah.
I think I'm undervaluing them is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think you guys are, too, just based on some of the stuff. But anyway.
I really like Cam Akers a lot, and I think this is a decent swap because I feel like T. Higgins has really good value going forward too. I'm gonna just slightly lean towards T. Higgins in the first round pick, but I really think this is a good trade overall. I mean, you know, assuming one guy needs a receiver, another needs a running back. Yeah, I think it's a pretty fair swap here. Akers probably has the higher ceiling, if that makes sense, but or maybe lower floor. I'm not sure if I worded that correctly. I think Higgins has a ton of potential too, though, and he could end up being kind of in that top 15. I think he's got that kind of upside, but yeah, I'm going to lean that side for now.
So I'm actually kind of agree completely with you, and I think that's even a little strange because I'm super high on Cam Akers, and T. Higgins I think I'm a little lower on than most people. I obviously don't dislike him, but just not. I don't have him as highly in my rankings as I think most of you guys do, as well as most of you listeners out there. But I still think the T. Higgins in 2022 first is really, really good value for Cam Akers, and I think I'd give Cam Akers up for that.
Yeah, I think I would too. I mean, T. Higgins, hopefully him and Burrow have a connection for the next decade.
Yeah.
Having said that, running back's such an important position.
Right.
So you can see why someone might have pulled the trigger on that
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
All right, going to move on to the final trade of this episode. This is in one of our Silver Dynasty Leagues. Before we do, hey, man, if you guys are looking to get into a new Dynasty League, we got them over 600 leagues here. We've never folded a single one. Also, posting orphan teams daily. It's that time of the year. Guys give up their Dynasty teams for whatever reason. Top of the homepage, you'll see an orphan link. John Beast, the founder of Masters, is posting new ones every day. Some really good teams on there, so want to keep a lookout for that. Having said that, let's get into this last trade. It's going to be in one of our Silver Dynasty Leagues. Joe Mixon and a second for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Who you got?
This is funny because I've died on a hill for both of these guys. I love Clyde. The usage in the past season kind of worries me just with how much they threw the ball instead of they just kind of abandoned the run, period. And I know he missed a lot of those games down the stretch. I honestly, right now, as we sit here right now, I kind of feel better about Joe Mixon's value going forward, even though he's older, more miles on him, all that stuff, and getting a pick in that scenario too. I think I'm going to lean Joe Mixon on this one, even though, again, Clyde, was the 1.1 in most leagues last year, in rookie drafts, I should say. And, he's obviously younger, a lot more potential. But I think Mixon's going to still put up I think his best years are ahead of him. So,
Yeah,
I think I take Mixon.
I knew that you liked them both. So
Yeah.
I figured I'd put you in a blender on this one.
Yeah, my brain is just going crazy thinking about these two.
So like you said, not every trade has to have a winner and a loser. So I'm just going to say fair trade.
Yeah.
I love both players. I do think, next year Joe Mixon a little better, but I think Clyde has a little more value in Dynasty just because he's definitely going to be attached to Mahomes,
Right.
for the rest of his rookie contract and then some probably. So I'll say fair trade.
Fair trade.
Yeah,
I like it.
I do think it is a fair trade, and there's differences there. I just kind of lean that side.
And I guess if I
And
had to pick
yeah.
one, I'd go with the one with the second round pick, just because it's so close.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that Kansas City offense, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for watching this one. And also, if you have any trades you want us to debate, leave it down in the comments section. We'll definitely take a look at those trades. I'll tell you what we think of those trades. Appreciate you so much for listening. If you could hit that like and subscribe button. Any last words, guys?
Thanks for listening.
yeah. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.